How many of you had some transition going on this last week? Woo! That's an adventure, right? Okay. Do your affirmations daily. Keep your head in the right place. Stand up to be recognized. I'm curious, how many of you saw that Sam, our tech genius, posted my affirmations on our Facebook page? Yes. Did anybody listen to him? So I'm super excited because so you remember how Lisa Madsen shared her affirmations? Yeah. But send your affirmations to me. I know you have them written out somewhere. She sent me an email with her affirmations written out, and I changed them to make them mine. Put the same music that she had on in the background, and so I have my own affirmation that's like almost, well, it's very similar to Lisa Madsen's affirmation. That was my template that I had. I'm kind of excited. So now I'm listening to it, and I feel like a top NSD in Mary Kay because it's just works for Lisa. So okay, if you put yourself in for training daily, stand up and be recognized. If you call Lisa Madsen's hotline daily, a million things to do. What's happening? Can you help me remember to put orientation packets in the box? She's just that good. Just that good. Because I want to make sure that when we have a new adoptee that I can give you an orientation packet so that you don't have to write down 101 things because the information will all be there. But I want to make sure that you do have our national area hotline if you'd like to plug in daily. And that number is 209. Oh, you got it? Yes. 209-647-1208. Perfect. Right on. Yay. So writing it down, we'll have to remember it, right? Yeah. Okay, so those are all the things we do to set ourselves up for success, and then we get into action. So if you connected with clients last week, stand up to be recognized. Okay, stay standing if you connected with 10 or more. Woo! 16. 25.
Oh my goodness. I don't really know.
Sorry, I totally, it was screaming at me.
It was super screaming.
Congratulations, Lisa. Yeah. 20 and 24. Woo! No, I'm not. I was so excited that you're taking them. Woo! Yay! Because Sam's working on this.
Oh, well, I mean, we have the Google link now.
You're gonna figure this out. All right. If you have at least one new appointment on your date book since last week, please stand up and be recognized. Okay, I'm standing. How many do you have? 2. Great job, Carol. I'm not making you go. How many do you have, Roxanne? 4. She has 4 appointments on her date book. Women on a mission. Absolutely. Okay, and then if you held at least one appointment last week, stand up and be recognized. Woo! Roxanne's giving herself what? Held appointment. And then
Jessica can see us.
Who can see us?
Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. We hope you feel better. I'm gonna back up so that my head's not half cut off on the recording. I'm gonna have to put a mark on the floor so I know where to stand for you.
Oh my gosh, we are.
All right, so we just did appointments held. So if you open the doors to your business and you sold product last week, stand recognized. All right, stay standing. People 100 or more. 200 or more. If you have a start to sold $300 or more in sales. What was your total, Cindy?
Oh, I think it was about 250.
250. So just shy of a star consultant fee. Congratulations. Completed your weekly accomplishment sheet online. Stand up and be recognized. Great job. Beginning new habits. Yes, absolutely. Great job, Jennifer. Personal within 1 week challenge. Please stand up and be recognized. Okay. Stop clapping. Oh, did you do it?
Yeah, well, the last last one I wrote down.
Okay, great job. Woo! I want everybody else to raise their right hand and repeat after me. I promise.
I promise
to take a challenge.
that
I'm committed to accomplishing.
I'm committed to accomplishing.
That will be my next best step. In my marriage.
In my marriage.
All right. The thing we love about our business is because it is our own. Nobody's telling you what you have to do, right? But here's the problem with the entrepreneurial track to ourselves either when we tell ourselves what to do. So you have to pick a goal that you are excited about, something that you know is going to make a difference. When you walk in here next Tuesday, you're going to feel great. Look what I did last week, and everybody's going to do. Sound good? Okay, if you held at least one sharing appointment last week, stand up to be recognized. Yay! Roxanne, come on, Esther, you're our queen. Woo! I know. Okay. Sharing. Great. How many sharing appointments did you hold? One. Hey.
I'm excited to hold one. I haven't in a while.
Well, it's time to get the ball rolling again. You can tell us what your next goal is.
Goal. For sharing goal. My next sharing goal is to have 5 new team members.
Can't you do it?
Yes, you can.
A sharing tip.
I think a sharing tip would be to ask questions, to find out what it is that your prospective team member wants to know. What is it that you can see this putting into your life? So that's interesting.
All right. Have a personal best. Position available for personal best to be tracking what your best is for faces, for sales, for sharing appointments, for your team members. You're in competition with stuff, right? So in your own lane, put your blinders on, in your own lane. All right, so before I forget, I know there's someone who has, and that's Miss Roxanne, so let's bring her back up. Woo! This is like the excellent spot.
Okay. My product that I'm going to talk about, if there is one here, I do not see one, but that's okay because I don't need it. If you probably need, you know what it is. I wanted to talk to you about the lip primer, a limited edition product. When it's gone, it's gone. And I don't know how many of you were familiar with it when we had it last time. It hasn't been so long it's been on, but if you're a brand new consultant in your family, then you might not have known about it. Anyway, this is an awesome product, and it's, I like to recommend it for 3 different categories of customers. So what it is it's a product that all of our other primers are. You put it on underneath, oh, I guess I'm so high. You put it on underneath the product that you want to use. So it has a couple of different benefits. One is it's a little bit like, okay, so for my first type of customer would be a more mature woman. Then have issues with her lips. Because one of the things that this will do is fill those lines in and make her lips look smoother and younger, which is pretty appealing to women who are beginning to get up a certain age. The other thing that oftentimes as you begin to get a little bit older, the definition of your lips begins to get less defined, I guess is the word. And so therefore your lipstick tends to bleed a little bit more than it would have when you were younger. It helps the more mature woman in those 2 areas to make their lips look smoother and also prevent the bleeding with the younger customers who maybe want to wear those really bright colors, like the poppy and the red. For some reason, why need a little bit more than some of the other ones. Maybe it's one of the that could be an option. Second customer I like to recommend this for is anybody who is looking for something that's very long wearing because it can last longer. So you put the primer on, it's just like our foundation primer. It's going to make the lipstick last longer. Great for brides. Great for anybody who's going to be something or other and they really just want it to last a little bit longer. And I think I wanted to say about that. Yeah. And the third testament that I like to recommend to you is that when you know college and wants to try the new thing. So she may want to, like, you may have somebody who's like, new lipstick, yeah, getting free. Oftentimes that's something who wants something that's new and trendy that appeals to someone like that because this is a limited edition product. This is limited edition. You can only get this for a short time, and then they want it just for that. And there are people who, I want it. And they also like the exclusivity. Exclusivity?
You said it, yeah, the last time was first.
Of just being able to get it for a short time. Those categories. Get one for yourself, definitely. And I think if you haven't tried it, get one and try it yourself. Because if you try it yourself,
Thank you. Okay, so I have to tell you one of my best girlfriends who's like the queen of glam. She said you put it on underneath your lip color, and then she said you put it on over the top. So she does it around her. She does it around the line over the top. Wears by it. So, all right, so I have a couple of a prize to give first of all. So, Rummel. The winner is Kinsey. Cute little lip plush. And then I did realize that we missed a little bit of recognition. So, Miss Carol Valdivia, will you please come up here? I love, admire, and respect because she shared her seminar inspiration. It's so great to hear about others' inspiration. And then Miss Raisa. Okay, and this says, I love, admire, and respect Raisa because she has such enthusiasm and an all-in spirit when it comes to okay, and the last piece of recognition, I realized the piece of recognition I'm super excited about. I made, now where did you post it? You posted on Facebook? Okay. So our newsletter is posted on Facebook, and I made a color copy for everyone who's on the front page of our newsletter. Sarah Dell, please come forward, recognize senior consultant. Okay, there's a couple people who aren't here tonight. People who aren't here tonight. Miss Raisa Dotskaya, recognize her here. All right, and then I have this one that we can just like tap around, and that will go on the front desk. And Sam's working on the newsletter. Actually, she's finished the newsletter and is waiting for a letter from me. So if I'm the holdup on the newsletter, I'm just saying it's my fault. It's all me. Okay, so I have to know, loves to cook and loves to bake and would love to take our Mary Kay kitchen cookie recipe home and make some fun cookies. Have a ladies' night out in the near future. I look right. All right. Okay, and speaking of baked goods, it is Mary Kay's. She opened the business in 1963 on Friday the 13th. Now, nobody opens a business on Friday the 13th, but she did because that's when we started, right? And so, and Mary Kay loved the number 13. She had her office on the 13th floor. That's how we got the name of Studio 13. It's just in honor of Mary Kay Engelman. And so, in honor of Mary Kay's birthday, I made the favorite cake that I get on my birthday, which I actually never get because I'm not going to cook on my birthday. But it is applesauce cake with brown sugar. So, I've asked Paula to dish up some brown sugar frosting. Cake for everyone. It's in the back. There's plates and there's forks. So let's thank Paula for dishing it up. And honestly, I thought it would just go around really quick and just thankful for about this Mary. Just in honor of Mary Kay, the woman who, she gave her whole life savings to start this business, and she didn't know if it was going to work. And honestly, everyone who advised her told her not to do it because she was being too generous. She was paying too high of commission, giving away too much, and they were certain that she was going to go under. And so, that's one of the reasons why we have that 90% buyback guarantee, is that she didn't want us to have to go all in and not have a safety net. She knew what it felt like not have a safety net. And so we're just going to go around, and I want you to share one thing that you are thankful for in your Mary Kay business. I'll let you start right there. We're all going to clap at the end. This company has taught me that I do not have to settle. You can come back. Absolutely. What about you, Paula? Cake cutter.
I just love all the friendships and the camaraderie and flexibility is always really good. Just the friendships that I've made over the years.
Absolutely. I'm going to end with you, Gina, because I have to introduce you to everyone. I get to introduce you to everyone.
Of the grace for us, we need it, and forgiveness. But then I also love the present assistance and encouragement to keep going even in those challenging times.
I don't know. I love all of that. I love how it is an environment that is really positive and where women can really discover how powerful they are.
Well, then say it again in your own words.
I really do. I like all the connections, but I do also like I like that it's very clean. The customers,
I think for myself, you asked me what I'm most thankful for. But today I was most thankful for ability that I have. I have the opportunity to, first of all, I had a career chat with someone who I'm declaring is going to be joining our team. She is just a super sharp gal, super cute, super fun, and she's new to the area. Her family just moved here from Arizona, and her husband is on, and he is on a week-long business trip. And today to do a career chat, and she told me when I got there that she her car was acting up. Like, I never acted up before. I don't know. And I was like, well, if something happens, please call me. She called me like an hour and a half later. Her car was totally dead in the middle of 36 and 188, like in that area. And she had just gone to Costco. Her trunk was loaded with perishables. She had her 3-year-old in the back seat, and I mean, it was just, you name it, it was there. So I to hers, and we transferred all the goods out, and then I got her little boy in my car, and I went and parked in an apartment complex that was right there. Park. And so there's some dude walking down the road, and I'm like, hey, could you help me push this Yukon? It's not a car, it's a Yukon. And so I'm like, I think we need to push it back first so that she can turn into the driveway. And he's like, yep. So the two of us are there, we're just like, we're digging it in as hard as we can, get that Yukon back. And we got her off the road, and the tow truck came, and I took her to go pick up her kids. But I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to do that, because if I was doing anything else, working for anyone else, I probably would have gotten to the position work and go. But I got to go. And so some of my Mary Kay stuff got rearranged today, but I had the opportunity to help someone out, and so opportunity to choose, to make choices, the power to make choices, and not have choices made for you. So I wanted to take a quick minute to share, because we did. Hey, thank you. Sure. Yes, there's some. I think the ones that you brought last week are in the bag. Well, there's some right there. There we go. So we do have a brand new member of our A team. Yeah. Call our adoptees. So Miss Gina, will you please come up here? So this is Gina. I just had the pleasure of meeting her tonight. She actually is a personal team member of Sarah McQuaid, and her sales director is in South Dakota. And you live in Edmonton? That's right. Yeah, I grew up in Edmonton. Yeah, so she lives in North Seattle, and this was the best place for her to get plugged in. So ones at home, and when I say she has 3 little ones, the oldest is 3. She has 3 little ones at home, and so she's been staying at home, doing the most difficult job with the least monetary compensation, and also the biggest blessing that we could possibly have. And it's time to step out and do something for yourself. So tell us what you know. Oh my gosh, I am just so impressed with the touch and the website and all you gals and just kind of thinking over yesterday, and I want to get that training that's available and all the documents and templates, and just, I feel like everyone's making it such a big for me to just kind of want to do that. But it's kind of inspiring that everyone's like and that's really cool. I just come to them after the meeting. I had no idea. I thought I was way more than I thought. They were excited. Come back down then. All right. Okay. So I've got like three main things that I want to share with you ladies tonight. The first one is I went and got a presentation folder. On the front of it. So this is a picture of my boys on vacation. This is a picture of Quaid coming with me to pick up my current Mary Kay card. And I like to share the story that when I took him there, it was, I think, July 3rd, and his brother had just had his birthday party. His brother's birthday, June 13th. And so like the weekend before or whatever was the birthday party. Because he didn't have presents and he didn't have, whatever, and he's 3 at the time. And so I was like, we're gonna have a party. And so we got balloons and we got cake. The party was for him. and all my team members came and we celebrated, and I pretended that they were all there for him. And so he was like on cloud 9. He got to eat cake for breakfast. And he had balloons, and we went away in a brand new car. So that's that story. And then this is just a picture of my husband and my boys together. And then I put the Jamie Taylor notebook in these little sheet protectors, right? At the end, I added sheet protector with several copies of the starter kit. and then also copies of the microdermabrasion the bonus that the company is offering this month. So we know that anybody who purchases a kit this month gets everything in the beautiful kit in addition. Right? And then I put some agreements in here so if someone wants to read all the details they can. And then I put what's called the pilot program, and that's something that I can show you. But before I share the pilot program with you, I brought you each a little present. I'm going to just pass the bag around and you can take one. And in case you can't see, this is Wonder Woman. Right? She's a Wonder Woman. All right. So go ahead and take your Wonder Woman. And then you can just think about what possibly I could be doing with Wonder Woman today. But I'm bringing a piece of Cadillac Club. I'm bringing a piece of Cadillac Club home to you because at our directors meeting on Friday that Red Jackets were invited to, the one director who did main training, she passed out Wonder Woman. I made it cuter. That's okay. Sam made it cuter.
Yeah, I still don't know what the word.
But she talked about TED Talk that she had listened to. This name down so that you can listen to the TED Talk on your own. As long I did kind of toy with the idea of sharing it with you, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you a snippet of it, and then you can listen to the TED Talk because it was very powerful. But the name of the lady who did the TED Talk is Amy Cuddy, and I believe you spell her last name Cuddy. And her TED Talk is on body language. Has any of you listened to it? Yeah, you're amazing. Okay. So what she talked about is we're all aware of the fact that our nonverbal affect how other people see us, how they feel about us. Our nonverbals are cues. So the thing that they were testing, our nonverbals change the way we see ourselves, change the way we feel about ourselves, change the way we think about ourselves. And after they did several tests, they came to the conclusion that very much our nonverbals change the way we see ourselves, how we're holding ourselves, change the way the feeling that we have of ourselves and the way we feel about ourselves. We all know that our minds can change our bodies, right? Like that we can convince ourselves that we're strong enough to do something, like move a Yukon. Or our minds are powerful and they can change our bodies. It's what we choose to meditate on, and our body will react. Yeah, right. Also, so for example, think about something that's really scary, and you're going to have a fight or flight, like that adrenaline rush, right? So that's just one example of how your mind can change the body. But our bodies can also change our mind. So when you assume a power pose, you have a physical reaction. Your testosterone, which is the power hormone, increases, which is the stress hormone, decreases. Your body will change your mind will change your behavior, and your behavior will change your outcome. She talks about the tiny tweaks that yield big changes. So we're going to do something tonight for 2 minutes. We're all going to assume the Wonder Woman power. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your chair back. It's happening. And here's the thing, 2 minutes is a long time. 2 minutes. I want you to think about how you feel as we do this together. You're going to pause it? I was going to turn it so they have to stare at all of us for 2 minutes. You're welcome to. And then they're not staring at me for 2 minutes.
I got a girl watching it right now. Sorry, love.
Okay, so you're going to. Because how many of you have played basketball? Okay, when you play basketball, you're standing like this, or you do this, right? When you're standing like this, you are not easy to play forward, right? Because it gives you one force. Okay, and then you're gonna put your hands on your hips and move what you can. We're gonna say her hands are like this. Not are they this? Not like not like this. We have the Wonder Woman theme song music to play. Can you grab it?
Yeah, like,
We're just make her stand up after we're done. Okay, so here's what they were saying, is that when you have something that you need to do where you need to feel powerful, you could take a power pose and give it to you. And so they were talking about like when you do interview, so you have to go into the back and stop and stand in power pose. Translating for our business, if you are getting on the phone and you haven't had a powerful day and it's going to feel powerful, instead of running with the wrong okay, sorry, hold on. That's the ad. All right. That was cool. Here we go. I think I need to like save it on my phone so that when the song play the Wonder Woman song. Okay, so what do you notice when you stand like that? It does.
I actually felt physically more energized.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this all night now.
yeah, I know, it's like a little
Do that for 2 minutes before you get on the phone, so that you show up as your best self, right? Not your timid, shy, scared self, but your self, right? And make sure that when you're making those phone calls, you have a smile on your face, because people can hear a smile over the phone. Well, you're probably not going to be doing this when you're on the phone.
Well,
You might.
Put your headset on.
Angela, you're Mary Kay consultant.
I called to offer you.
Oh my goodness. You are signing up with me today. That's funny. Okay. So I also had the privilege of being on conference call with our national sales director, Lisa Madsen, and she had our guest speaker was Diana Spencer. Okay, so I have to ask you guys.
Yes,
Really
good.
good.
Like I love it.
Betty Crocker cookbook. The really old
it's so
Betty
good.
Crocker cookbook. It's
I
like
have the orange one.
Yep.
Yep, I have it.
Applesauce cake, and then I think they call it caramel frosting, but it's just brown sugar frosting. So bomb. I call it buttery sugar.
I call it delightful.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I had Sam post program information on our Facebook page, so you can go to our Facebook page to print it off. And I would also recommend taking notes as I go through it, because I know that when it engages your brain in a different way than when you're simply listening, and it's going to stick with you better. So I want you to know that I did not type this up for you to hand it to someone and say, here's one is on our pilot program. This is intended for you personally to reference as you're talking to someone about the Mary Kay opportunity. Okay, so one of the things that Diana Sumter talks about is that she doesn't have it printed up anywhere either because legal would have a heyday with this. Because I'm sure that I probably use verbiage that's not, appropriate to legally. So I'm going to walk you through what the pilot program is. So the pilot program is for someone who's in Mary Kay but afraid to make a long-term commitment. Okay? So they're interested in the opportunities, they're afraid to make a long-term commitment. And I always tell people, Mary Kay is not like having a baby, it's not like getting married, it's not a forever decision. You can put your toe in the water and you can try it out and see if it's true. But sometimes that's true. Like put your toe in the water and try it out and see if it's free. And so the pilot program is an opportunity to stick your toe in the water of Mary Kay. So I want you to think about right now in what is going on right now where women might need Mary Kay products. So what happens at back to school time? Stress. So they need some pampering. Okay. Seasons are changing. So what does that mean? Their skin's changing and they need different skincare. Fall is coming out and they need a lip color. And then foundation change because they're getting out of the sun. So there's three main things that are happening right now. I mean, there's really, you could make it more than that, but the three things that Diana talked about were right now the temperature changing, everyone needs a new moisturizer. People are getting out of the sun, everyone needs a new foundation. Fall is in, glamour is different, women want a new lip color. So temperature changing, you need a new moisturizer. People are getting out of the sun, they need a new foundation. And then fall is in, and women want a new lip color. Question that you can ask, doesn't it make sense to position yourself to fill that need? Doesn't it make sense to position yourself to fill that need? And just know if you can't write fast enough, don't worry about writing it all down because really truly you can go on our Facebook page. It's in our group. And you can print it off of our Facebook page. But here's the thing, not to sell, but to fill a need, because when you fill a need, you add value. To add value to your client. So you can build your customer base while you're helping people. You can put Mary Kay on 6 to 10 faces a week, and depending on your skill, but it's different. It's like depending on your skill, your talent, but I really think it comes down to two things. Depending on your skill and your willingness to learn, you can add $500 to $1,000 a month. Depending on your skills and your willingness. You look at that, September, October, November, December, that's 4 months, right? You get excited about having a couple extra $1,000 to work with, right? What would you do with that extra $1,000? Let's go ahead and hear some of the things that you can do. What would you do?
I put the down payment and secure my date at the venue that I can put next to my wedding.
She's very clear on what she's doing with that money. Anybody else have clarity on what they'll do with a couple extra $1,000? Down payment.
Yeah.
Driver's ed for a teen.
Driver's ed for a teenager.
And increase of insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And work on my house. Work on your house. Is there a specific thing in your house that you would do? So when Roxanne gave the tip to ask questions, you're asking questions, what would you do? Could you get excited about that? Doesn't it make sense? But what would you do with an extra couple $1,000? And what would you do? Right? They can't think of anything, then you could ask these questions underneath. If you go somewhere, would you try something? What would you off? If you're ever going to try out your own business, And then it's going to be followed up with another immediate need, which is gift giving over the holidays. Followed up with another immediate need because most women wake up the day after Christmas and they say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I need a new look. So you position yourself for New Year makeovers. Then there's Valentine's Day, which is another opportunity for gift giving. February 15th, we can get together again and have a cup of coffee and evaluate. If you love what's going on, tax deductions, girlfriends, extra money, residual income from reorders, possibilities, then let's continue. And you may want to do a little bit more or a little bit less. If you don't like it, maybe it's not the right time or it's not the right season in your life, you can sell down your product, no big deal. And if you hate it, like it's self-corrected, just as if you have it. If you have it. If you hate it and never want to be a part of Mary Kay again, you can box up your products and Mary Kay will buy it back for 90% of what you paid. And when Diana said this, she said, your crabby girlfriend. She said all these different things. I was laughing at her because she is very she doesn't, I don't think she has to do the Wonder Woman pose to be powerful, right? That's military. She is military. Yeah. So okay, so I just have to tell you part of her story of how she became a Mary Kay consultant because she was military and she was working like 70 hours a week and she was doing like presidents and international dignitaries and whatever all this stuff. Anyway, she was dropping her daughter off at an in-home because that daughter spent like 70 hours a week with this woman, right? And this woman was because this woman was actually a woman who shared herself with her. So this is the woman who ended up shooting Mary Kay. And so this woman signed up for Mary Kay with the intent of recruiting Diana because she wanted Diana back. She's so much scared about it for herself. She believed that she signed up for Mary Kay, she would get Diana to the community, and Diana would have an opportunity to get out of the 7-7 heavy, crazy life this lady signed up with Mary Kay. The next day, she's trying to invite Diana to the event. And Diana says, back in that day, my favorite episode was in my mom and I got the best summer. And she started really started. And she's like, so she went. But she felt bad about the fact that she had support this sweet woman who invited her to a Mary Kay thing. And then she went to the event and she said, she found it better. Because yes, she's very much a deep personality, but she signed it that night because it was really interesting because it wasn't because of the cards that were directed to her. It wasn't because it was because it was so like I don't remember if it was like they were and one of the environments that she longed for, and she wanted to go, she wanted to be a part of it. And so I tell you that for a couple of reasons. One, because it's always fun to know another MSC story, right? But the second thing is it wasn't about you when you're having a business happening. And I think sometimes when we're building a business and we're sharing the opportunity with someone, we share opportunity as if that's the guy, but as if that's the woman, right? And really, it's our job to share the whole humanity of opportunity. Share about the connoisseur, even if you haven't promoted yourself to the position that you want to be in. Share about the promotion that you're doing. And when I was talking to good morning, and I was asking her, what appeals to her the most? So I don't know if you saw this or not, but I added a question. I know Jamie had like a question at the bottom of one of the pages. Question to each page speaking and interacting. So this page says which of these appeals to you the most, so they can tell you which one appeals to them the most. This one's not so interactive, so you're just sharing with them. But this one says which of these is most important to you? And then for this page, if you could create your dream job, which of these would be in it? And so that's the question. So we added questions so that it would be a more interactive thing. But when I was talking to her today, she's a former teacher and she taught for 12 years and this is her first. She said the thing that was most important to her was flexibility because she has a child who has some learning challenges and she feels like she needs to be able to be controlled. And she has those kind of questions. Also recognition because she got married. So remember, if you're in the lives of teachers in your world, you have kids that are going to school, teachers love because they hear about everything that's wrong on a regular basis. And so it's time to start and maybe appreciate about them and what's right because they don't get that. It's like I was talking to her, I was like, when I was teaching, because when I was teaching, one person got the Teacher of the Year award. It didn't matter if everyone in the building was a superb, stellar, amazing teacher. One person got recognized, right? The person who was stellar gets recognized. It's a standard, and we know what the standard is. It's not obscure. You don't have to try to figure out what the standard is in order to be on the Supreme Court of Sarah. On the Supreme Court of Sharon, you can go back to them. You want to talk to that teacher. You know what the because if that was the way it was, we'd have to be looking left and right to know where we were at on the scoreboard, right? But now we know what level, we know what happens, what it takes in a car. What needs to be done. And so it's not oblivious, it's really clear. So I think that it's very important, like Roxanne was saying, that you ask questions and this is the mindset. And I have to tell you that I went to do a makeover last night, and I took this with me, even though my client had heard it, I don't know how many times. And it was so cute because that one who's 13, I said, I have an appointment, I'm going to go make a 13-year-old girl tonight, and I make her day. And he's like, what? And I said, well, she turned 13, she grabbed her makeup, and I'm going over to see how to do. Her mom's been my client for a decade, and she's a really good client, and her daughter's going to be my client too. And so I said to him, I said, you don't know this, but the reason why I met this mom is because we were at the mall and we were playing at the play place with her daughter. That's how we met, 10 years ago at the mall. The play place that I not had a child. And and it's just our children are the same age. So he's like, so am I gonna make a commission off of this? Yeah, that would be my child. All right, so are they sure? And any other mom and child can do it. That's right. And I was like, I wanted to say, 10 years. You stay in touch and make sure that she remains your client. Oh goodness, people come to me. What do they do it when she comes to me? Well, here's what she told me. I went through this with her. I said, well, you'll get 5 extra entries from this test giveaway. So I talked to her and her daughter and I asked them all the questions and she thought she told me. And I'm getting my 25 years in and then and I'm like, I'll still be around to you and you know what, it's true. And she is a dynamic powerful woman and she is great at what she does and she is traveling to Dublin for her business. That's the thing is that sometimes there are some people that it is the perfect time for them right now and there's some people that it's the perfect opportunity and you don't feel this being the perfect time for them. And so some people use that to just out with it, Some people are open to that, some people aren't. So part of it is learning people too, asking that question. So, okay, so going back to the pilot program, are there any questions about it? Yeah, 3 reasons?
Yeah.
Okay, so are the 3 things the majority of women are going to need to buy? Temperature's changing, they need moisturizer. People are getting out of the sun, they need a new foundation. And fall is here, they need a new lipstick. Okay, I just realized that I didn't quite finish. Okay. We talked about if you don't want to be a part of the Mary Kay and you can box up your products, I'm going to buy back at 90% of what you paid. Bring you this and only asking you to take a 10% chance on yourself. Right? I'm only asking you to take a 10% chance on yourself. You're going to get a starter kit for $100 plus tax and shipping this month. You receive an additional microdose. Depending on your first order, you can get a free website for a year, and that's going to put you on the. That's going to make your internet, phone, computer, iPad, etc. tax deductions. Why not now? It's never a perfect time for women. We make a decision and then we make things happen. It's everything in life. There's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect time to have a baby. There's never a perfect time. And I think that sometimes people like romance this perfect time and life just keeps happening and then perfect time never comes, right? So I love to look at you. Yep. It's all in it. You can get on with this decision. No, I mean it's something that's been around Mary Kay for a long time. It's simply presenting the opportunity in a way that people can see it as I'm going to give it a try for a full month and see if it's for me. It gives them the freedom to say, okay, I'll give it a try. As opposed to, as opposed to feeling like they just won their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in the marriage. I know that concept that weird. Well, I think also it's giving them the idea that women have needs that our company can fill all year long, right? Because what's going to happen at need or in that time? Well, it's pain for him to eat, right? And so women need the time of the year because seasons are changing, right? And we talk about the seasons of the year, but then there's also the seasons of life. When you're in the business long enough, the seasons of life. My client had a 3-year-old, now she has a 13-year-old. That's a new season of life. For my client last night, she got her face ready for bed and tried the new facial peel. And her daughter tried the botanicals, and mama had on the facial peel, the daughter had on the mask, and that's when I went to my notebook. And I was playing a little bit of makeup with the daughter, and it was so funny because the dad was like, he's dying because his daughter looks like a young woman, when we're done. And then and I was like, we were just practicing for those special times when she's allowed to wear makeup. Like that's not another day school look. That was my daughter, it was either, and I said to Shayla afterwards. Yeah, I have to train my voice on what to and not to do when that happens, when they're around girls. Maybe after we turn those off. All right, so older brothers probably do it. Yes. So, what are some of your takeaways? Your takeaways, aha moment. New thoughts or same thought but heard a new way. I like the three things that people. Why we need our product right now. Connecting with customers in terms of what a great thing to put on the bottle. Absolutely, if you're something funny. Went out. They cataloged. They went out at the end of last month, right? So that's another tangible reason to be calling people. Make sure they have catalogs. What's the campaign cataloging? Okay. them and see if they if they'd like to get some for half price by getting some friends together.
And I like about the PPP program is that I don't know how it happens, but because they're so excited to get them, that they oh, I want to let you know what I want to learn. And so I really have that opportunity for them to have so much respect for
Well, and anytime this is how I work. Whenever someone comes to my mind, I feel that is my duty to reach out to them. And this is what I mean by that. Like I had a client she came to my mind, and she came to my mind a day or so ago, and life happened, and I didn't get around to her yesterday. And she's like, I'm sure I called her, and I think I left a voice message. Glad you reached out to me. I said, you need to call you on this, and this. And she's like, and it was funny when I went to deliver it to her, she goes, you thought I kept one time. And I'm like, yeah, because I know that most of the time people run out of their cleanser or their eye makeup remover at midnight, and they realize that they're out of their eye cream at 5 a.m. or whatever it is, right? And so I turn off my phone so that people can text me. And she's like, yeah, that's what happened. You know, I ran out of my acne treatment dog, and I didn't think about it. And next night, and she's like, and then you texted me, yes. Yeah. So there are like 3 or 4 things that she needed, and it's that our clients want to hear from us. They're oftentimes thinking about reaching out to us to reorder that thing that they're out of, but their life is busy. This is our business, and so we need to make it our priority to be seen to follow us, right? Because that's how we should charge our business, and that's how we stay in control of our business. Because if we're always waiting for them to call us, I mean, it's great when they do, don't get me wrong, I love it. Was waiting for them, sometimes they might just end up at the department store, and it's easier for them to pick it up because they haven't gotten a call from us. Speaking of myself when I say this too, because I do have clients that I haven't reached out to for a couple months, and it's time to reach out to them. You know, and even if there's nothing to do right now, you reached out to them, and so they thought about you again. Find it that when they run out, they never find it, right? So, any other ahas or takeaways? I like that you said you make it with the money to get back. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought that was the easy thing that they just really expecting because so yeah.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your experience, because I think sometimes we forget that. Yeah. And out and home.
There's the ones who have no idea what you're saying. Or I met you, I had no idea that this even existed. My newest team member, she didn't know there was other kind of a product.
Yeah.
So
when I think about how happy I'd be with my business mom, yeah, bring them over. Actually, a really good point from
I'll have 3 friends here to buy, so I get mine at half price.
Give me a gift with purchase too. Yeah, if I have a couple friends, can I get a discount?
Right. What I need to do real quick is take your postcard. If you don't have a postcard, you know, there's postcards on the front. So Paula will give you one. And you're going to put your name and address on the side so that we can mail it to you. And then on the other side, you're going to write your goal for the week. Done and done. And then we're gonna go around the room, and I want to hear what your goals are for the week, and I'm gonna see if I can. That would be great. You can like turn it at people so that they can see people's goals and be a part of that. So goals, we're making a choice, right? We're making choices, and then we make these choices happen. This is for you. So just for the sake of the people who are watching, I want you to say your name, and you're gonna say, "Oh, my name is Elizabeth. I choose to and share what it means." Can she do it? Yes, she can.
No pressure.
My name is Carol, and I choose to be forward-looking.
Can she do it?
Yes, she can. I know it's kind of awkward. I'm sorry.
And I choose to build my confidence this week and watch daily funny videos.
Woohoo.
Can she do it? Yes, she can.
And I choose to cook and make TV phone calls.
Yes, she can.
Yay.
My name is Tina Jennifer, and my goal is to get my first party to the
Yeah.
on the books. Yes, and that's what it is.
All right.
That's
Can she do
awesome.
it? Yes, she can.
My name is Jennifer, and I choose to get 3 new bookings this week.
Can she do it?
Yes, she can. We're
My
going.
name is Roxanne, and I
That's good.
choose to have 5 sharing appointments this week.
Can she do it? Yes,
Yes, she can.
I'm Cindy Giles, and I choose to parties that I need to nail down on the book.
We're gonna book it.
Book it,
Can she
baby.
do it?
Yes, she And selfie status. I am Sam, and I choose to actually complete a mental bath each day this week. It's happening.
Yes, she can. It's all right. Thank you for joining us for our very first broadcast. There will be many more to follow.
I know we have.
Let's give them a hand for joining us.